And the thing that I've picked up on recently is things like the sketch. So what's the difference between a sketch and a drawing? If I a drawing, if I wanted to draw trees, I'm most likely to, I hope you can see this, I'm most likely to do something like this, okay? You know, this is a sort of detailed, realistic sort of way of conveying a row of small trees or bushes, a hedgerow, if you like, okay? I'd consider that to be a drawing, not a sketch, though there's a fine line sometimes in areas. But so what I was saying a moment ago is about how can you replicate, how can you keep this motif, okay, but have it looking different. And you can do things like this. You can just take a solid shape outlined, still resembles this overall, okay, but now you've got quite a different feel about your artwork. It's and instead of thinking of the detail being linear as it is in this real representation here, it now becomes more of a blocked out shape, and there are opportunities to do things within the envelope. You know, you might take a brush, a single brush mark might leave you with textures in certain directions. You might keep that as a circular area, but within these shapes you can start moving away from you know, this version that everything has to be this sort of version of a tree. And the same can be said for anything at all on this planet, whether it's figures, mountains, rivers. I just want to show you this. So there becomes a code. I suppose that's the best way to explain it. You know, you move from sort of realism to motif to sort of a code. So when I offered this SketchUp, you can see that I've just cross-hatched very loosely this row of shape here. Now we know they're meant to be trees, but to me, by putting a directional line, and you'll note that they're all the same, by putting a directional line through that particular object, tells me that they are separate of what lies behind the mountain. Okay, I could, if I so wished, make the mountain a horizontal line like that to indicate that what's going on back there is different to what's going on in the tree line. Okay, I could indicate down here these scratchy lines down here that you can see in the sketch to indicate perhaps that these are closer bushes or even grasses if we want to increase the scale. These are tall grasses. And so you can develop in your sketches this sort of code. There's a tree over here, maybe it's more than one tree, but this is my little code for trees. The shape is its overall shape, its outline is that, but it's that indication, that cross hatching. Well, it's not cross hatching, that shading. I don't know what you'd call that. Cross hatching actually is when you go at right angles to one directional line over the other like that. But when you're just hatching, let's call it hatching, okay, this becomes a code to me, so I see it differently. If this is a river here just disappearing into my landscape, okay, I'll outline the edge there, but look, there's two huge chunks of rock at the water's edge, one over there, and perhaps where I've gone diagonal in my woodlands and my trees, I can go horizontally on my stone and my rock areas. The purpose of the purpose that this serves is that you will look at your painting and see the big shapes. And this was brought up last week at last week's lesson.